have no idea what this thing is. Maybe a transducer. And put that in there. See, it's a little wobbly, so I've got my hot glue gun here. Well, we might do a little bit here. And then this got this little thingy up here. If I wanted to cover that, I could glue that on there. And now I've got whatever the hell this thing is. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Doofus Bob here. And we are going to continue our spaceport. You'll notice all the starships are gone. I took them off. And I've got a bunch of other crap laying over here right now. So, in the last episode, I mentioned we were going to start painting and then do Greeblies. But then I decided I'm going to do the Greeblies first and then the painting. So, and I'm actually getting to the point where after I do the Greeblies, which we're going to have to spray paint the Greeblies a little bit and then maybe fine touch them a little bit, and I'll show you how I do all that. We might actually stop. I may not get to some of the dry brushing on the tarmac and everything, and move on to the next build that I want to do, which is the Battle of Hoth, because there's some Hasbro toys coming out starting, I think, sometime this year, here in the next month or so. They're going to be releasing the Battle of Geonosis Vintage Series, I believe is what they call it. And that is the third build that I'd like to do. So, there's going to be a bit of a financial overlap there, because I want to buy some of those Hasbro toys as they come out. I'm also going to start working on the Hoth. So, we going to be doing both around the same time, and that can get a little pricey. So, let's get back to this. So what are Greeblies? So, here we are. And I'm not in the camera angle view as much as the stuff is. I want you to focus on the stuff. You don't want to be looking at me anyway. Trust me, there's nothing to look at. This is a little R2-D2 fridge that my grandkids bought for me. It was either Christmas or a birthday. Okay. I'm not going to take this apart because it works. I like it. You know, it's an awesome little thing. However, if we start looking at it, right, you got all sorts of little electronic bits. You've got all this stuff here. You can't see the inside of it. But if I took the inside, if I just took this completely apart, you're going to find all sorts of little gizmos and electronic things and motherboards and things like that, right? Well, I worked at a chemical plant for about 22 years. I still work for the company, but we moved. They shut down the plant. And as they were doing so, there was all this electronic stuff and gizmos and gadgets and instrumentation that they were throwing out. And I got management permission. I was able to get a lot of stuff and just start taking it apart. Now, in some of the videos, if you look, you'll see underneath here there's totes. These totes are full of stuff that I have taken apart. Alright. Let's see if I can do it. Look at this. You see all this? You take that out. Look, I've got all kinds of stuff here. You can see all these bits and stuff in here. These are all little things that I've taken apart. You see that? I don't even know what that is. Okay. We got little pipe gadgets. You know, little bits. This is the push-in. It'll secure pipe. This will work for plastic pipes mainly. We've got I got a lot of these. I have no idea what that is. And lots of little fuses. Okay. Lots of these. And here's something else. Little plastic round thingy. Oh, here's a cool looking one. Yeah. I don't know what that is. Now these right here, these are pretty cool. These are tiny little air vents. I think these are 2 inch. I found a whole bag of these. Now I actually got a few of these sitting over here, and I'll show you what we're going to use them for. So when you take stuff apart, okay, here's a little light, and then you repurpose it for building a Star Wars panel, console, something with switches on there. They called them Greeblies. Now, when George Lucas made the original trilogy, the stuff in the background, all the consoles and switches and buttons, that's all they really were. They found switches and buttons and stuff like that at Radio Shack. Literally, they went to Radio Shack. Other times, they just took panels off of old planes and stuff. You know, if you look at Star Wars A New Hope, you zoom in when they're sitting in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. You look at the seat belts. If you look at the little square part on the seat belt, it says GM on it. They literally pulled that out of some car to make the seat belts for the Millennium Falcon. So a lot of people go to Smuggler's Den. I'll put in some links in the description. There's some people out there doing some really cool stuff with Greeblies and whatnot. So let me get some of the junk out the way here. You can't see it, but my little work table is behind me here. I'm going to reposition the camera so you don't need to see me. I'm going to show you all the stuff I've pulled out. And I've got some stuff already put in positions as to what I think I'm going to use it for. So if you remember the barricades, I moved those up there now. You see they're up here. And I think they look much better up there. Okay? And so I got the camera on a stand here, and I'm walking around with it. I'm kicking the stand a couple times. Apologize for that. Here's the landing pad on the second level. You'll see we got some stuff sitting there already, like this little thingy. I'll grab that in a minute. Here's one of the little vents I showed you. And there's that stuff. Here's all this junk over here. Okay. So I keep mentioning the mistakes I make. I just now turned the lights on, so now maybe you can see a little bit better. Okay. So first, we've got this little thingy. I'm going to have to unscrew that and take this back plate off of here. And I'm thinking if I take these little red things off, these are covers here to keep the dirt from getting inside it. Okay, we'll put that down. And, it's if I put little tubes here and then take one over here and one over here, I've got maybe like a waste extraction pump or a fuel pump. But over here, I've got this thing. This thing is like almost solid brass. It's made of brass. This weighs about half a pound. Okay. So we've got this little knob up here, and I wanted to cover that. And I've got this over here. Again, I don't know what this all came off of. This I know came off of a pump. So I'm gonna paint that with, everything's gonna get painted with this Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover flat gray primer. I've used this on my Star Wars Legion figures and other setups. This stuff is amazing. It sticks to everything, and I totally recommend it. Depending on what your final color is going to be, gray is fine as a base coat, and then you can paint up from there. If it's going to be something that you want looking more dirty, then maybe do a flat black. If you're going to do a console, which we might do one of those, you can just start with a flat gray primer, then go over it with flat black, and then go over that with gloss black, and you'd be surprised just how imperial looking it actually looks. So let's grab some stuff here. Oh, These I just found recently. So again, this is going to be, I'm going to put some, I might have to get some pipe bits and put them in here and then get some black tubing that comes from there. And then this will be like a fuel pump, you know, hyperdrive fuel or something. I don't know. These little things were awesome. Okay, so I use magnetic stir bars at work for little inside beakers and stuff. And some of them were they're metal stir bars, but they're coated in glass. To keep the glass from breaking, they actually wrap them in this like little protective cushion material, and then they put them inside these little things. Well, if I take that, sorry, again, my tools are behind me. If I take that and I just go ahead and snip that there, and then snip that there, so that little bit's gone, and now put that on there. Look at that. Does that not look like a waste barrel or a Has drum or something like that? It's just a, you know, if I paint this flat black and then put some grease on there or some orange to make it look rusty, you know, now look, I've got a bunch of these, including some tall ones, and those will look great. So if I were to take all these and just like, you know, stack them around like this, off in the corner over here or outside of a ship, like, you know, the Razor Crest was sitting here. Where? Here? Okay, was sitting here. So if I put these here at the back ramp, like they were offloading or onloading, whatever, cargo, boom, we got barrels. Okay, so that's one thing we can do. Let's move this over here. Now I got some figures here to kind of help me size everything, right? So these are 3 3/4 inch figures. So if you picture a waste extraction pump being roughly this big, that's about right. Maybe a fuel pump being roughly that big. That's fine, right? Okay. And then I picked out some random stuff too. And what this will be similar to the barrels. Let's see, where's it? Here. Okay. So I found this thing. If we take this cap off, if it wants to come off. Yep, there it goes. Okay. So now, I don't know what this is. I mean, I know what it is. It's actually a sensor. Okay. And I'll peel off the sticker for it. But if I just put that there, and then this round doohickey here, and then maybe that there, you know, you just pile up these things in the corner somewhere. So when they made Star Wars, the original trilogy, that's what they did. Okay, they just took random crap from junkyards and stuff, and like in the sand crawler when the Jawas got R2D2 and C3PO. If you look at all that junk in the background, do you think they just sat there and crafted all this stuff purposely that way? Nah, they just piled it in the corner and made it look like it was just junk sitting there. So that's what Greeblies are, and that's what we're gonna do. So I got this. This is like a fine tuning spray nozzle is what this is. So if I just put all this stuff here, I'm gonna paint it, you know, and so all this stuff just looks like, you know, Starship parts or hyperdrive parts, whatever. This actually, you know, if you look at season 1 of Ahsoka, what is that tug ship was carrying off a Superstar Destroyer hyperdrive. And if you look at the way that looked, and then look at this thing right here, it's almost similar. So what if you know, the Ghost needed this as part of their hyperdrive, right? So we'll have that, and I got this little thingy. I'm trying to get a good view here. Let me grab something and show you one of my favorite things to take apart. Okay, this, you can tell what this is. It's a Samsung model HD083G, whatever. It's a hard drive, external hard drive. Actually, this might be an internal. I'm not sure. So um, what happened was they once they cleaned them up, our IT department, they were throwing all these away. Okay, they recycled them to the electronics place. Well, one day when they took the electronic cycle bin, somebody else came down and said, "Oh, I got all these." They didn't know what to do with them. I asked them if I could have it, so I took them apart. And inside is just all sorts of little gizmos like this, spinny wheels and stuff that look like droid sockets and whatnot. I've got a whole box of these. The downside is I can spend an entire weekend sitting there and taking these apart. The screws are really tiny, and it took me maybe about 15 minutes per hard drive. It's not too bad, but it does get your hands kind of dirty. So there's one thing. Okay, so this stuff here will be starship parts and whatnot. Maybe we'll put them at the bottom of the ramps of the ships, or just in the market. Maybe one of the vendors is selling it, or underneath here we'll try to make like a little mechanic shop. There's just be leftover parts. Okay, what you just saw there was a spider that come down on me. All right. I could edit that out, but it is funny. Let's look at this thing over here. See if I can bring this over without it falling. Okay. We'll put that over here. All this stuff is a little dusty too. Again, it came from an industrial plant. Some of these things are just, it's hard to tell, but this is just really dirty. I'm gonna have to clean it. Okay, so I'm gonna start taking this thing apart. It's not really apart. Okay, again, we've got some instrument parts here for like, I'm not even sure what this went to be honest. It's an input voltage device. So if I were to spray paint this and cover up all the English writing on there, right? And then it's a little wobbly, isn't it? Should be all right. Okay. And then we got something similar here. This is a media converter switch that I found in the trash. So if I take that and stack it on top of this one, and then take this, which is a, what is this? Maybe a transducer. And put that in there. You see, it's a little wobbly. So I've got my hot glue gun here. Well, we might do a little bit here. And then this got this little thingy up here. If I wanted to cover that, I could glue that on there. And now I've got whatever the hell this thing is. And I had it sitting over there. So I can take tubing from here to the starships, and it could be a, I don't know, some sort of a sensor platform or something. It's just stuff in the background to fill in some of the empty negative space, right? We've got some empty space here. I've got, if you can see, let's see, where is it? Here. Let's grab this stuff here. We'll put this back. So I will glue that down so it doesn't fall off. So these are little paper boxes. You can buy the kit and build it. That's in one of my other videos. I had the link for that there. This one as well. This is a ammo bundle, right? Off of one of the, I think, Amazon. And it, you know, these come colored paper, so I don't need to paint these unless I want to. And then this one, here we go. You can see it's just gray, you know. This comes, look, you can see how it looks. This boxes in some sacks, something like you'd see in an RPG game, fantasy game like Skyrim, right? So we can paint these. So we already had all that. I just never got around to painting it. Okay. All right. Let me grab a couple other things here. So here's one that I'm not, again, I don't know what this was. I think this was from a printer. I took a couple printers apart too. And then this is from an instrument panel. Okay. But if I were to take that and glue that here like this, now you've got what looks like a console that is just tall enough for this guy to be standing in front of. You know, we can lower it like that. I'll just glue it on there with some hot glue and then spray paint it. And I've got, let me get that out of the way, this thingy from a camera, an old camera. I think it has the name on here. Samson. Okay. And this I was just going to put over here. I don't know. It could be a water dispenser or something like that. Can you see it? You can't see it. There, now you can see it. So we'll just put that there. So you see where, you know, once you put the Razor crest over here, you've got all this space. It's not a lot of space, but spaceports, Imperial stations, Rebel stations, bases, military bases, whatever, they have stuff, right? They have fuel pumps, they have waste extraction pumps, they have shield generators, droids running about, starship parts, tons of parts laying in the background. And that's what I'm trying to do. This one was a cool one. I've got two of these. I don't know where I got this from. Remember the little vent thingy? Well, if you turn it upside down and put that there, let's turn it this way. Okay, you see that? Perfect size. He's got a console he's working on. And so I thought I'd put that back here with just outside the mechanics shop. And then we had these guys. Okay. So what are these? If you go to a hardware store, these are just valves, you know. Now they're pretty dirty and they're not usable anymore, but if I do this, all right, just kind of put them together like that, you see what it looks like. And then if I glue these on top, okay, I'm gonna try. They got some weight to them, so I'm gonna try to glue them together. They may not stick, but I might put like some cardboard or something underneath and make like a little platform for it to stand on. That's actually a pretty good idea. I might do that. And then glue them all together. And then you can spray paint it after I glue it. And it's a whatever. Moisture condenser maybe? So that could work. And then I've got other stuff laying around. Let me grab something else. So what I did was, before I started filming, I took all this stuff out. I went through my boxes and whatnot. And I decided, let's just lay out a bunch of stuff and see what we could do with it. So I started grabbing pieces and putting them together. No, that didn't work. Then I put this together. Oh, that works. And then, so I end up with all those things you see here. And this is one of them. So this is, again, something. Oh, I think this is off the camera, the same place that this came off of. In fact, I think this goes here. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. And then this square here fits very nicely right there. And then this round piece here, which is from a printer, okay, fits very nicely there. You have to glue it. It's got some weight to it. I'm going to glue it anyway and see if it holds. Okay, and just going to use hot glue. Okay, and then these two lines coming off of here, these were just wires, and I cut them. Hold on, you couldn't see those. Oh my god, everything's falling. Okay, here you go. Can you see the lines there? Okay, so as this sits here like this, one line will go to one starship and another one will go to another starship. and it can be whatever. Okay, it could be a something that plugs into the starfighter computer, right, to download some memory or something like that, or an upload updates and stuff. So something else will do. Okay, so what I plan to do now is take some of the items off camera and just wash them. Okay, I need to clean them. Then I'll take a minute to dry. And then I probably should make the video where I glue some things together. Although it's just gluing, I'm not sure if you want to see me glue stuff. I might do one or two, make a short video, and then you can kind of get the idea from there. Once everything's glued and dried, then we'll hit it with the gray primer, and then we'll paint it. And we'll set it up, and we should be good. I'll get to break out and show you my paint set. And I think after that, I'm probably going to stop. Probably going to stop and take this entire spaceport and move it to a different location in my house. Not sure where the hell that's going to be, but we'll move it. And now, one thing that popped in my head this morning was, now it's hard, you can't see it, but there is a significant amount of dust. Now, one of my friends did ask me this a couple months ago, and I said, yeah, that's something to think about. Is, if I were to get a plastic cover for this, it would have to be about 6 feet. Well, this is probably about 5 feet by 7 feet, maybe, and at least 18, maybe 2 feet tall. I mean, a plastic cover that size, that's going to cost a lot of money. And I could purchase that, but I'm not going to. It'll be something to just once in a couple months go through, clean all my starships and all my toys, Hasbro things and whatnot. I kind of have to do that now in the man cave anywhere. It's very dusty, just like everywhere else. So, okay, I'm gonna step away for a minute. You won't notice it because we'll edit it and chop it out, and then we'll come back to when I've washed everything and dried it, and then we'll start playing with some glue, and then we'll step out. I'm not going to show you spray painting. I'm sure you know how to spray paint. I'm not spray painting the foam, and so this solvent shouldn't dissolve any of this plastic anywhere. So what I'm going to do is just go out into my garage. I'm going to hold it about 12 to 18 inches away, put some cardboard down, and just start spraying this stuff with a nice layer. It doesn't have to be a perfect layer because I'm going to paint over it anyway. And if some of the brass shows through on that piece, or then some of the black plastic here, it's fine. It's fine. We want it to be a little dirty anyway. Okay, I'll be right back. I told you we would do some gluing. This is kind of a boring part for me, but I talked to some people and they were like, oh, you're not showing them what you're doing, how you're doing it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm just gluing. So remember, these 3 pieces were separate. I just used hot glue, regular hot glue. Oh, the nozzle's there. And it grabs right away. And now there you go. Okay. So let me show you how I'm doing this. This is a good one to show right here because it's a little bit more difficult. You're putting something round on something round. And honestly, I wasn't sure if this was going to hold, but it did. So what I did is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put a little bead on here, about like that, with a little string. And I'm just going to take that and put it next to it or wherever you want it. And that's it. It's there. And now, so for this one, I wasn't sure what to do with this. Once it's painted and whatnot, it should look pretty cool. I'm not. I have been looking at, adding LED lights. Ow, 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 ow. I'm burning myself. I have looked at that, but it's not something I'm gonna get into just yet. Okay. So this is a regular. So the little rubber nozzle is coming off here. There we go. Okay. So this is, the top of this is the magnetic part of a solenoid valve. So then I'm going to go to the opposite side and do the same thing. Just a decent amount. Not out. There we go. Okay. Making a mess here. I swear I do this all the time without any issues, but now that I'm filming it, of course, I'm like burning my hand and everything. I'm probably just going too fast. Okay, there we go. Just stick that on there like that. And originally I was going to go all the way around, but I found a bunch of these in the same places I found the rest of the Greeblies. But this is all I have. I have more, but I am saving them for some panel builds that I'm thinking about doing. So there we go. So now it looks like some kind of a generator or something. I have two more here of these. I'll just put these on the opposite sides. Trying to keep this in the camera angle here. About there. Okay. And then we'll put one more. This little rubber thing does not want to stay where it is. It is hot glue, so be careful. Okay, let's move you out of the way. Okay, so there you go. It's just, once I spray paint this, we'll see how it looks. Again, you could put little lights behind them maybe, or make it shine through because it is glass, but for this build, I'm not doing that. Getting into LED lights and whatnot is not, I've watched the videos, it's not complicated. Okay, and I'm fairly good with tools and whatnot, but it's an expense I don't want to get into just yet. Okay, let's bring this guy over. A little bit more wobbly. So, looking at the bottom, maybe we'll get some foam or something put underneath, but for now, we're just going to put this on here. Okay. So if you can see, there's little legs on here, little stumpies. We'll just put the glue on there. Okay, and then put it. Let's see, how do we want this? We'll put it this way. Yeah, that looks better. All the curved part facing the same way. So we got this, and this stuff over here. So after I spray paint this with the gray primer, the little glass part here, or the little where the little LEDs are, I'm not going to power this, but I will scrape some of that paint off of there, or put little dabs of red there. Actually, that might be better. Okay, let's take that off. And then this one, even though this is metal, it should still hold. Again, once this is on there, I don't think I'll be moving it too much. Put that right in the middle. Boy, that held really well. Let me show you what kind of glue I'm using. So I tried a variety and looked online, and let me get the shine off. There you go. These Gorilla Glue sticks, man, I mean, look, it says 45 seconds, impact tough, and weather resistant. I mean, this stuff's grabbing metal to plastic, plastic to plastic, metal to metal, everything. So I totally recommend it. And I don't think, I'll be honest and say I don't remember how much I paid for it. I would just look on Amazon. Okay, you know what? I forgot to wash this part here. Okay, let's see. We can put this like that, like this, or like that. I think like that is better. No, like this. Let's do it like that. Okay. There we go. And now that piece is done too. We'll take it upstairs and spray paint that. Again, what is it? I don't know. Maybe not a console, but something for starship maintenance. I have no idea. I was just trying to think of something clever, but nothing popped into my head there. There was something else that I was going to do. I think I'm missing a part here somewhere. Because I found this, and I was going to put this on something. Oh, you know what? It's outside because I washed it, so it's drying. I'm not going to show you how I glue everything. I'm sure you're getting the basics of gluing. If you completed kindergarten, I'm sure you can figure out how to glue stuff. Not being mean, just saying. I don't think this is wrong way. That's why I was looking weird. Okay, so this one, you see the back of it here? I think I can just do it like this. Yeah, that sounds right. So we'll just go around. There's a lot of empty space here, so we'll just go around like this. Come down the middle, across the top. There. And that should hold fairly well. Sure, it's kind of straight. There we go. Oh, wow. That took really well. I'm off a little bit. We are off a little bit. Oh, wow. I can't even move that now. Well, this is good stuff. Okay, well, that's okay. So you can see where we've got this edge here. And then over here, we've got a little bit of space. I'll put something else there. Actually, I could always just put this there. And that looks like it belongs there. I was looking for something to do with that anyway. Let me think. How can I do this? Yep, like that. Or like this. Okay, we'll put something else there to kind of make up for that. But again, it can be whatever you want it to be. It's a little top heavy, so I'll put something on the bottom here, maybe a piece of foam or something, and we'll be fine. It's kind of falling over already. We'll just leave it like that. Okay, let's grab a couple more things here. And I think that's it. Okay, let's grab this. So I want the flange part here on the bottom, and I think the easiest way to do that is just like this. I always forget to look over and make sure you can see what I'm doing. There we go. That's about centered. It's pretty good. Probably could have been back a little bit more, but that's okay. Ooh. So when the stick runs out, let's put another stick in there. You get a pretty decent amount out of these, so it's okay. There we go. Yeah, this one will move back a little bit more. Right there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That one's a little forward. It's fine. Can we move it back a little bit? No. Dang, that's pretty good, huh? I like that. Like just good. That'll come in handy when we're doing other stuff, because to sit there and sit like this for 10 minutes while it dries, it just sucks. Trust me, I've done that with at work with some stuff, and just sitting there waiting and waiting, and it doesn't hold, and things slide around on you. It really sucks. Let's grab this one. Okay. This is. Ooh. Okay, let's just do it like this. It's Gorilla Glue. It's not going to take much, is it? Okay, so there we go. We're a little off, but we'll fix that later. Okay, so that's gluing. I don't think you want to sit here and watch me glue some more stuff. So what I'm going to do is take all this stuff, glue my other stuff, and then take it all outside, and I'm going to spray paint it, and then I'll come back. Okay? We took everything outside. We glued it all up before, and this is the flat gray primer, Rust-Oleum. And the glue held up on just about everything. This piece here was pretty heavy. Actually, all three pieces actually have some good weight to them. So when I made the mistake of picking this one up and it detached, and I just re-glued it, so it's sitting. Here's our barrels. You can see, we'll paint these. And there's our consoles. Here's our, I don't know, maybe something that connects to each vessel as like a data download or something. Not sure. We'll think of something. I had these two containers here. These are actually what I believe Harry's razor blades come in these. Yeah, that's what it says. And I just spray painted those. They'll be cargo containers. Kind of like, I could put little feet on here and make it a gonk droid. Even the metal and plastic, everything painted up nicely. This primer sticks to everything. So, there we go. Now, when I glued everything together, you might have been looking at it like, okay, how is he going to make this look sci-fi spaceport background stuff? Now look at it, okay? And we're not going to leave it this color. We're going to get some paint and touch it up. And what I'll probably do is pick like one drum, one console, maybe a couple of these other pieces, and just paint those up. And just to give you an idea of how to paint, because really, painting with small brushes and everything, it's a learned technique. I can show you how to do it, but you really just got to grab it and start doing it. I will point out some YouTubers that I really like. I always say the name wrong. I think it's Zorastro. Look that up. Type in Star Wars Legion figure painting. Just type that into YouTube and you'll find it. That guy, I mean, his little figures are just spectacular. I've watched a lot of his videos. Maybe I'll bring out some of my Legion figures that I've painted so far, and then you can see what I'm talking about. But this needs a little bit more paint here. You can still see some of the blue. And the other thing I was thinking is, we'll probably get onto... so on my computer, in Word, Microsoft Word, I downloaded the Aurebesh font. And it's really cool. You type in what you want, and it prints it in Aurebesh. It's really cool. So I'm going to let me see if I have some. Yeah. So here's some of the it's kind of hard to see here. Let me bring that real close. There you go. You can see some of the figures and the font. This is all in Orabesh. This was on Microsoft Word. And then what I would do is I would just cut them out and print them. I always forget to turn the light on. I could cut that out and you wouldn't see that, but I'd rather you saw it. You know? A lot of YouTubers, they have their stuff and I mean, it just looks so good, but then, you talk to them at Comic Cons and stuff, and they'll say some of those videos were hours long, even though you only saw 30 minutes, but I mean, they just so much editing goes into them. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else to talk to you about. I can't think of too much else. I think we're at a good point. There's actually 4 or 5 parts of this video that I'll edit together and we'll upload it. And I think that's all. So I didn't paint everything. You see this? Yeah. Some of these parts, they look pretty cool the way they were. So I'm just going to leave that. And we will just stack them somewhere. Especially this one. I kind of like the way that looked by itself. This is, believe it or not, this is a hyperdrive. Who's it? It's actually from a printer, but Okay. Alright, well, Doofus Bob here. Like and subscribe. And we will, on the next episode, we'll do some painting. And I think the next episode might be the last one. For this, I'll put everything, I'll paint it, and then maybe the last 10-15 minutes I'll show you what it looks like with all the ships in place and the figures and everything. The marketplace over there is not done. Let's show the marketplace over here. Let's get that in. Here, let me do it like this. There we go. So the reason it's not done is because I can't make up my mind on what to do with it. And I don't want to half-ass it, because then I won't like it and I'll just tear it down and redo it. I mean, if this is going to sit in my house, it'll be here for a while. I'll just come back to it one day. I'll make a video of it too. So this is where we're leaving off. And we will see you in the next video. And I want you to have a good weekend. All right? Everybody have fun.